3 dogs. It's not as easy. But if we get this one going, and then and you'll work on it with the others. And the first part of mat work is attraction to the mat. And I normally do it with I want the dog's head to stay down. I'm gonna put the mat down. So you might start with a bath mat or a towel or something, you know. You can also use their bed. But you always, when you start to teach this, you want to start from, you want a beginning, middle, and an end. So you're going to have the mat up here. And you're going to put the mat down, and you're just going to start to put treats down. And you can mark it occasionally, say good or yes, whatever your word is for marking a behavior. Do you have a...
I usually just say good girl or
good girl? There you go. But you're going to blend it. You're not always going to be going good and then treat, good and then treat. You're going to blend it because what you want is the dog's head down. The treats are coming from the mat. So to get the dog attracted to the mat, it's not about you. And they're not coming from you. I normally do them high and just drop them down so that my hand is not involved in the sight. This dog has a little bit of sight going on besides the nose.
She is a sight hound.
Yes, she is a sight hound. So, so that is.
Let's see. Sunny, what is that?
She goes, I like the snuffle mat and I like the snow hide. Do you use bully sticks with the dogs?
No, they stink and they just disgust me.
Yeah, you can get them. You can get them odor free. I normally get them odor free, but they do stink. Hello. But if you get them from Costco, they got the 12 inches and they're not odor free. So, so can we start to pick these up? Are you all happy? And we can start to do some mat work? Yeah, we can start to do some mat work. So there's 3 stages to the mat work. I know, it's so much fun to have me down here at your level. There's the attraction to the mat. There's the down and chill on the mat. And then there's down for the count on the mat. So, you know, one thing that they have that has been documented scientifically, looked at and documented, is that I come from a school of you ignore what you don't want and you only treat what you do. But they have found that reinforcing a behavior, even if it's a behavior you don't like, can have the behavior go away. Because, so think of somebody walking into the dog shelter, the feeder, walking in and the shelter, and there's dogs in cages on either side, and there's the cacophony that happens. And so what they started to do was they just started to come in and throw treats as they went through. And what they found was that the dogs, because the anxiety of me first, you know, me, oh, am I going to get it? The anxiety that comes with, am I going to get the treat? Am I going to get the food? Who's going to get it first? When am I going to get it? All that anxiety went away. Because the dogs had their heads down, and then you could go about and feed the dishes. So it is along these same lines. Treat the emotional, and the behavioral will fall into place for you. So I have another example of that. I have a little Yorkie, 6.5-pound Yorkie, and the Yorkie would bark at me every time I fixed the food. And I was like, do I want to fix this or am I just gonna ignore it?
Mm-hmm.
So as any good trainer, I ignored it.
I have a problem with her. She's very vocal.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Very vocal.
So I'm not gonna care about this. So I didn't care, so the dog would bark, 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 bark. And it got worse and worse and worse and worse. So then my sister fell very ill, and I live with my sister. She fell very ill in Thanksgiving night, and when she finally came home a couple weeks later from the hospital, she had sepsis. When she came home, they wanted her on 24-hour antibiotics, and they put a PICC line in her. And I have to change the bag out every day. So she's on antibiotics for 6 weeks. So, and she needed a lot of help. You know, I was her caregiver. So it became, well, I want to fix their food, and I want my cup of tea and my toast, because I have to be there to make sure that the Yorkie, the terrier, doesn't try to dominate the Chihuahua over here that's 16 years old. You know? So I wanted to be the mediator, plus I had to get my sister's drink and her breakfast ready. So suddenly I had all these other things that had to happen. So I would get the food out, their food, and get that in the bowl, and I'd put that down, and I'd put my water in for the tea, and you know, I started to do all these other things, and suddenly the dog stopped barking. And I went, I'm brilliant. But really, when I looked at it, I have a training group that I go to. They're from all over the world, and we meet every Tuesday around 4 online. And I was telling people about it, and I went, so I'm starting to think, and I'm wondering, was I using negative punishment? Or was I using positive punishment? and I don't know whether you know Skinner's quadrant, but you know,
I've heard about it, but it was in college a long time ago, and I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's the box, you know, the Skinner box, and it's negative reinforcement, positive reinforcement, negative punishment, positive punishment. And negative being taking away, positive being adding, not good and bad. So, you know, it's how they base, you know, behavior. And so I'm wondering about it. So I go, well, I have kind of a nerdy question, and you know, I've got myself in a pretzel about it, and I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Is it negative punishment? And then we talked about it, and we really got to the point where what I had done was I had changed the behavior chain, my behavior chain. I had changed what was going on. So maybe when Sunny comes and jumps on you, you can tell her to do something, or sit instead of